So no doubt you have learned a lot of wellbeing tips from your reading that you could share, and you already have shared with our listeners. So what I'd like to know is one really specific thing that has helped you the most, perhaps, or had the biggest impact to improve your wellness and get more out of life. So with a specific wellness focus here.
Self-compassion.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we are on our journey to improve our wellness, it's human and natural to slip and fail and go back to our old habits and patterns. But when
Yeah.
that happens, instead of beating ourselves up and instead of feeling guilty and saying, oh, I knew I could never do this, or just
Mm,
being harsh on ourselves, I think we just have to have some self-forgiveness
yeah.
and self-compassion, because at least we're trying. And
Mm,
I did that. So with the 5 a.m. thing that we
mm,
talked about,
yeah.
for a good, I think, 5 or 6 months, I was able to wake up at 5 a.m. on most days, like maybe 90% of the days. And I was pretty happy with that. But
Mm,
then what happened this year when summer break happened for the kids in July and August, because the sun sets really late here in
mm,
where I live in Canada, it
yeah.
sets after 10. And
Oh, wow.
for
Yeah.
me, my routine was to wake up at 5. I would have to go to bed before 10. But
Mm,
because the sun hadn't set, it was hard to sleep anyway. And the kids were awake. We were out and about. So I struggled to wake up at 5. And my initial reaction was to say, okay, well, what happened? What happened to the 5 a.m. lady who is preaching this to others and now can't do it herself? So I
mm,
just had to apply that self-compassion to myself too. And like everyone is different, right? So
mm,
because of the situation that, I wanted to enjoy the daylight and enjoy the short summer that we have here in Canada. And if
yeah.
that means that I'm, instead of waking up at 5, waking up at 6 or later,
Mm,
it's fine. I don't have to, strictly go by the book and do what the author said. I can
mm,
modify it a bit to suit my lifestyle. And even with the healthy eating, the same thing happened. I did a 90-day online course
yeah.
called WildFit, and I did really well with it, stuck to it. And then when it ended and I was on my own, I did slip a few times and I tended to eat the unhealthy foods that I was used to.
Yeah.
But I, again, had to use self-compassion.
Mm,
And one thing that I say to myself, which I feels really helped me with my self-compassion, is that let's say if I took 3 steps up in my
mm,
wellness journey and I
mm,
fall 2 steps back,
yeah.
and let's say I keep on doing that, I'm
Yeah.
still going up. So I have to zoom out and look at the big picture. I'm
Yeah.
still able to slowly take 1 step up, up, up. And
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. I'm
Yeah.
human.
Absolutely. That's such a great, thank you for sharing that. That's absolutely wonderful. I think you touch on so many important things there, like that, just compassion for situations that change, like you said, the 5 a.m. wake up in summer, it just wasn't achievable because of, the daylight, it was still there. And, so, you got to adjust. And I've had a similar experience when it came to winter. So it would have been about the same time of year for us, but it was winter. And I was wanting to get up early, but it was just so warm and cozy in my bed and it was still dark outside. And I'm like, I don't want to be getting up at 5 or 5:30 because I'm really enjoying relishing in staying in my warm bed, and and I'll still do whatever I need to do in the morning to look after myself, but it's just going to be a little bit later. So, and I think, I struggled with that for a bit, and I actually, had to speak to a couple of people, and they were like, yeah, just go with the flow. And it's like, okay, yeah. So it's that awareness that I think we need to develop as part of our ongoing well-being journey, and that self-compassion is a really important part, and the same with the eating as well. um yeah, absolutely. And I just loved everything you said, so thank you so much. Really great.
I wonder what would be your answer to that question? Like one being tip that you would think is
Oh.
like bigger than all the others for your own journey.
Hmm. It probably wouldn't be far off yours. Just as self-love, and self-compassion, I think. Yeah, I think sometimes we can put ourselves into situations where we put ourselves last, or at least second, not necessarily at the top. Um, and I think for us to be able to show up as ourselves and fully love others, we really need to love ourselves first, and demonstrate that to other people. I think if we just let people walk over us, and just say yes to them all the time when we should perhaps have said no at a certain point, then it just gives them permission to keep doing that. If you don't stand up for yourself, then people will just keep taking advantage of that fact. So